Bitcoin is positioned itself to aim for 22.6K, and then from there it's got its eye on 25,000. And today I'm going to break this down for you and show you the evidence to support that. Welcome back to Road Dog Crypto. My name is Lane. I'm very happy to report that Bitcoin has been following our analysis very well. If you caught our last video, we were talking about how Bitcoin would fall back into this area here and more than likely get a bump to the upside. And as we can see from our current price action, that is exactly what we did, and this is showing a very bullish sign that we have more upward action coming. And I'm going to break that down for you today as we start going into the weekend trading, because things can get a little volatile, a little confusing there, and we may see some sideways action or we may see a big move over the weekend. It's hard to say at the moment, but definitely I do foresee a bigger move coming out of Bitcoin, and I'll explain that as well today. So stay tuned for that. This is a much bigger picture theory of what is going on in this coming months. So guys, just going over the overall action that we have out of Bitcoin, we were in this gigantic falling wedge pattern that we've broken out of, but we've been going sideways with it. Got a kind of a falling channel here also that we've been tracking, and we broke out of that too. Those are very bullish signs that we are going to be making our way to the upside. It's just been a little slower than what we thought. We've been keeping an eye on volume and price action, checking our indicators on the daily and everything is slowly pointing toward the upside. We got more money flow coming in on the daily. Stochastics are a little bit up to the top, but things are looking good overall on the daily for some more upward action. Now, a lot of people were looking at this area as being a possible double top, and you should always keep that in mind. The trick to this is watching your divergences and watching the pattern formation and the overall market structure, which I will be getting into in a minute, which is why I'm saying that we have very strong potential to go to 25,000 over the next few weeks and possibly months. This area right here has been holding support very, very well in the midst of all the fear that's in the traditional market, even with stock prices falling, the dollar going up, going down, even with the Fed raising rates again, all the negative news. Now, we've seen some manipulation come in on all the charts, including Bitcoin, and that's to be expected. That's how a lot of the big money sneaks in and makes more. In my opinion, the trick is not to get caught up in all the FUD and all the news articles and all the sentiment that is being pushed over by these bigger institutions just trying to get their fingers down deeper into it. And what I'll show you today kind of proves the point that is what they have been doing. So in the shorter term, just continuing on with our story here with Bitcoin, you see that we had this symmetrical triangle, which I am not a big fan of because they can break out on either side and go the opposite way, this is what it did. Had a fake out to the top side during all the news that was coming out, broke to the downside, and then what did it do? Did it come down here to a measured move? No. They don't usually do that. They trade crazy like a drunk rabbit in the middle of the road in the dark, and it ran to the other side of the road. We made it back into another pattern, which is a bullish thing, meaning we got some more upside. It respected this upper trend line connecting these two wicks here at 21,282, which finally made the measure move that I had from a bull flag, setting this target at 21,286. It was getting a little frustrating because it didn't seem like it was quite going to make it. We're looking for it to hit here. That particular measure move I had came from what was a bull flag at the time. It's hard to see on the 4-hour chart, but what we did basically is just take that measure move, apply it to the top, and that's where it got us up to here. It just took us a little while to get there. It fell a little short here, and that's why you got to give yourself some room on some of these measure moves, especially for bull flags and things like that. But we did eventually make it up there to that target. It just took a couple of weeks to do that. The smart move, playing that move, would have been to take profit at these higher levels and then buying back in at the lower levels. And you could have jumped in and out of this several times, being more profitable than just waiting for that particular measure move. So keep that in mind when it does come to measure moves. It is more of a range than an actual target number. One quick note here, if you like what we do here at the channel, please hit the like button and possibly subscribe to help the algorithm for this channel to reach out to other people. I don't usually like asking for likes, but the channel's just not getting enough to propel us forward. And also, one other thing that I want to bring up, if you want to learn what I do right here, I am pleased to announce that coming shortly, be on the lookout for this thumbnail, because I will be taking the Crypto Chart School live, where you can come and watch how I chart. You can watch how I set up a trade setup, and I explain how that I personally would look at getting into this trade and getting out of a trade, but I'll show you how I do each step so that you can do exactly what I do here on the chart. Because to me, this is life-changing, and I think everyone should deserve to have a chance to learn this and to learn it freely. A lot of the people who really need this can't afford these $1,000 classes or $1,000 trading groups. And those are the people that I'm really trying to reach with my channel. So if you want to learn this, by all means, join the live stream, and please remember to leave a like and comment if you wish. Hitting that like button helps us out more than anything that you could possibly do right now. So now for the more immediate term, what I'm looking for Bitcoin is to break up above this level. This is the 618 Fibonacci level. And let me quickly show you where I got that. I took a Fibonacci from the very top here down to the very bottom. And this level that we are at is the 618. Now, this is historically a place where people will try to short Bitcoin down. However, indicators are showing me that we got enough strength to break up above this. So what we need to do is look to make sure that we do break up above that, retest this area just right under 21,000. We were looking about 20,900. Get that for support, and then we definitely have more room for more upward action on up to this other 618 target, which is taken from a larger move at 22.6K. That's what Bitcoin is trying to do at the moment. Coming back down to the 1 hour, you can see that we have a wedge formation right here. We have a measured move from that just to give us an idea of a target that we can shoot for an immediate term, which brings us up to our measured move, which we technically have already hit at 21.259. So there should be a retest. So it will be quite possible for Bitcoin to fall back into these areas about 20,675, maybe as low as the 618 Fibonacci area at 20,527. So we could be seeing this weekend another dip back down as a retest for this area right here, and that will flip this area from resistance into support and give us a leg up for next week. So that's the price action that I'm actually foreseeing for this weekend, a possible retest downward. If we get really lucky and we do break it above this 21.3 area, retest that, we could go ahead and see some higher action. But with the low liquidity that we have on the weekends, more than likely we will be headed down to these two areas right here. Now, the bigger picture that I want to show you that is telling me that we are headed to 25,000. We can see that better if we go to the BLX, the Brave New Liquid Index for Bitcoin, which tracks Bitcoin over a larger time period. And the smallest that we can tune in here is on the daily, and it's not quite updated because Bitcoin is right up here about 20,700 at the time that I am making this video. So if I were to put a fake candle up to here, this is actually what Bitcoin kind of looks like at the moment. And basically, let me break this down to you. This is being a Wyckoff accumulation zone right here. And that's where the big money looks to drive prices down to an area where we have a range. They will kind of test some higher areas to get a feel about what they can do. And then they will drive prices down to a bottom range, and this is where they are picking it up. So during this time, from around the 1st of September all the way to, the 3rd week of October, market makers and of course institutions have been working this system, and they were able to pick up Bitcoin at around $18,500 on up to about 19,000. That's a sweet spot that they were aiming for, and they piled up there. You can see all the volume that came in here. All those big wicks came in with buying pressure to buy all that up. And now what's happened is that finally, after trading in the zone, driving prices down, collecting everything, establishing a baseline for a top here right around 20,000, we've broken above that, and now we are retesting this area, flipping this area for support. And this is how Wyckoff theory works. We have a range, and then at one point when we finally filled our bags, we're ready to start moving that price up. So price will come up and it will retest this area, and then after that, we are looking for a bigger move to the upside. The next area being right up here about 22,700. So to make this valid, we have got to put in a higher high. And so we will be doing that right here at 22.7. Once we establish that, then we got one of two things that will happen. More than likely, we will continue up to the $25,000 area, which is also a 1618. That is where Bitcoin will naturally go. And it's got to, because we've got to try to make a higher high here as well. We're potentially canceling out this high, making a new high, coming back to these zones right around 20,800 in that area, and possibly trading this range for a little while as another reaccumulation. Or a more bullish scenario is where we would go above that and create a new accumulation range up here between 27 and 30,000. So those are two scenarios that we could be potentially looking for according to this theory. However, from what I'm seeing right now, trading in a range right through here will more than likely be what would happen. So we're just gradually pushing up the value of Bitcoin as time moves forward. Kind of very similar to what we saw back here in 2018 as the price just slowly started traveling up this yellow trend line, slowly gaining more value and value until we get past the point where we broke down at, and then we shoot to the upside. And then it's still a battle, just filling in this range right here. That's something similar that I can see that most likely will occur in this bear market too. There are some good signs if I'm going to project out, and here I am on the weekly, but I see something that might possibly be coming into play here. Come up to around the $25,000 range. It could be making a very large head and shoulder pattern, which we come back down to, well, pretty much what I said earlier, coming back down to those same zones around 21,000. Now, if it does that, and this is just a total projection, making a head and shoulders pattern, taking a measured move from that idea, that could bring us back up to the $30,000 to $33,000 range. That looks very possible. That would bring us back to these areas of resistance. So I see that as being highly likely. Now, this does not mean that I think that we're immediately just going to start going up. What I'm forecasting for a longer term would be that we eventually make it up here to around the $30,000 areas, and then we will come back down to retest one of these areas, more than likely around the 25,000, before slowly making our way back up. Possible scenarios about what the charts are telling me over a much longer time frame. But once again, coming to our lower time frames, I'm on the 8-hour here, just checking that real quickly. Where the stochastics are going up the top, money flows coming in. Things are looking good, but they're starting to get a little overheated. So this weekend, I'm more than likely probably expecting some more sideways action. Most likely what I see happening over the weekend is that we'll be trading in this range and retesting this area, possibly down to 20,800, that area. Now, if we break below that, more downside, expect us to come back down to the lower 20,000s. But it looks that we have a good chance of holding this area and maybe even flipping this area right here for support. That would be a very bullish sign. But if nothing else, trading in this area between 20,800 on up to about the 21,300 to 21,400 area range this weekend. Hope this information has been helpful to you and kind of give you an idea as to what I see for the bigger picture. As far as Bitcoin goes, it looks very bullish in my opinion. I'm not seeing any immediate signs that we're in danger of dropping down to 15,000 or 10,000 at the moment. That's nowhere to be considered at the present time. Things are looking good. Trade carefully. And until next time, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog, reminding you that you've got this.
I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Road Dog Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.